What's up, you guys? It's your girl Tanaja, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to be doing a video that I've been waiting to do for a long time. This video is our trisomy 21 or Down syndrome diagnosis. Well, to get started, because I'm not going to drag it out, it's going to take long enough as it is. I found out I was pregnant Father's Day 2015 with my daughter Lennox. Um, my pregnancy at the beginning was smooth. Like when I found out I was pregnant, I had no pregnancy symptoms. I just didn't know the exact timing of my cycle, and I had just got off the birth control shot, the depot shot. So monthly I was always taking pregnancy tests anyway, just to kind of an ovulation test to see what, making sure I was avoiding pregnancy, which I didn't. So when I took this pregnancy test and it came back positive, I was like, what? No freaking way. No. How? Just how? They told me it would take a year before I get my fertility back. Here it's been 3 months and I'm already pregnant. Like, what is going on? So, okay, I scheduled my appointment, my first appointment. I went in and I was like, I don't know, how far along I am. I just got off the shot. I haven't really had a normal cycle yet. I just came in a couple weeks ago to get the birth control pill. I was thinking about taking a low dose pill to kind of regulate my cycle when, whoops, I got a positive pregnancy test. So that went out the window. So I remember going to the doctor and they were like, that's fine. Most people don't know exactly when they got pregnant. We'll do an ultrasound and that'll tell us exactly what's going on, what's what. So the day I thought I got pregnant was way off. I was thinking I was something like 13 weeks. And when I went for my ultrasound, I was only 9 weeks. And everything looked normal. And I just remember saying, gosh, like with my other pregnancies, mind you, this is my fourth baby. So I was like, my other pregnancies, my baby was just like, wasn't that round. This baby looked like a little fat bubble baby. And, not thinking anything weird was going on. I reached through that appointment, regular first appointment stuff. The second appointment I had was about 12 weeks because my son, who is 8 right now, he was born with kidney disease. So each pregnancy thereafter is all automatically being monitored by a fetal specialist, a pregnancy specialist doctor. So they were like, okay, we're going to do your 12-week scan just to make sure everything is normal. The baby's growing how it's supposed to and stuff. And I remember going in for that appointment, and that's when, the ultrasound was a little longer than I knew it should have been. And the ultrasound tech's face was just like, she kept asking me, okay, so how far along are you? How far along are you? And I kept telling her, okay, I'm supposed to be like 12 weeks and 4 days or something like that. I can't remember to the exact day, but I remember her saying, okay, well, the doctor will be in to talk with you shortly. So I remember when the doctor came in, which I believe was a nurse practitioner, not the doctor. And I remember her saying, well, in the ultrasound, the baby's limbs were measuring a little shorter than normal. I mean, it's nothing for us to be worried about. We already have you scheduled to go see the fetal specialist anyway. So, I mean, we're just going to keep monitoring it. And then she did the little Doppler scan to measure the baby's heart rate and stuff like that. You could just hear the baby heartbeat. And she couldn't find the heartbeat. And I was like, I'm 12 weeks. I know you should be able to hear the heartbeat. Like we heard it last time I was only 9 weeks. Like what's going on? And she was like, oh, that's normal. You're still early. It's okay for your baby not to have a heartbeat right now. Like, what? So she sent me home. She was like, just come back next week. I can schedule you for Monday or Tuesday. You come back in, we'll do another ultrasound. Just make sure everything's fine. So I'm like, okay. And I scheduled that appointment for the following, no, Monday. They were going to be closed Tuesday. And as I'm driving home and I'm talking to my boyfriend at the time, he was working in Maine, which was from us about 23 hours away. And I was like, the doctor said she couldn't find the baby's heartbeat, but she said it was normal. Like, I'm okay. Just don't worry about it. Just wait till next week. And he was like, no, y'all need to get my mama, go to the hospital, go to Florence, which was an hour away to drive, and go make sure everything is okay with the baby. Like, we ain't having none of that, because if the baby don't have a heartbeat, that means you walking around with a dead baby. That's not, no, just go. So I was like, okay. I remember calling my job, telling them what happened, and telling them, I just need to take off work today and I need to go see what's going on. And I did. When I got to the hospital, they were like, everything's fine. Like, your baby does have a heartbeat. It's just your baby is positioned in a awkward position where she probably had the Doppler against the head of the baby or something. Or maybe, it was all these things. Maybe this happened. Maybe that's why there was no heartbeat. I don't know. But everything measured fine. Like, they did an ultrasound. They did the heartbeat Doppler thing. They measured the baby. They looked at the baby's heart and stuff. And they were like, okay, just make sure you keep your appointment with the specialist. So, okay, cool. So my next appointment was with the specialist at 16 weeks. And I remember going in there, they did their thing, and the first thing that they did when they did a vaginal scan, because they wanted to look, I did not know, they wanted to look more, like a more detailed look at the baby's heart and stuff. When they did that, they were like, oh my God, your cervix is opening. It's way too soon for your cervix to be open. I'm like, huh? What? No. So like, okay, we're gonna need to put you on an antibiotic. You may have to have surgery to stitch everything back up. Have you had this problem before? Have you ever had problems with your placenta? Have you been cramping? I'm like, no, I've been feeling fine. I'm good. Like, I haven't had any of that going on. And then they were like, okay, well, we're gonna tackle that. And then the next thing we found when we did the ultrasound was that there's a white spot on your baby's heart. And we see it quite often, but we also seen that there was extra fluid around your baby's heart, extra fluid on your baby's brain, and along with the situation going on with the child's limbs, that we just want to do a little extra testing. And they wanted me to come back in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, that was 18 weeks. I came back, we did another ultrasound. Things still weren't resolving, but the problem with my cervix fixed itself. Okay, my cervix was closed. There was no dilation, nothing wrong with my placenta. I was good. I was like, okay, so everything else is going on. It'll work itself out too, right? That's how it works, right? Wrong. So we did the ultrasound scan at 18 weeks. Everything was still present with the baby. She still had fluid around her heart. She still had this white spot on her heart. She still had fluid on her brain. Her limbs were still measuring a little short. So they were like, well, here's what we could do. We could do this testing. We could do it via amniocentesis, or we can do a regular lab, which would be a draw stick in the arm, like regular. And they would, run my blood and see what kind of abnormalities were coming through from my placenta. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do the amniocentesis because I already know the risk of it. Cool. So I did the test, and it was like, okay, it usually takes about 10 days to get the results back, so you'll hear from us. Anyway, in the meanwhile, we're going to schedule to see you back in 2 weeks anyway, like normal. We'll see you back at your 20-week scan. Oh, yeah, and they told me I was having a little baby girl. So I was happy, kind of. I was teen boy. I just knew I was having a boy from all the morning sickness at the beginning. I didn't feel that with my little girl, but my boys I did. So Dad was happy we were having his little girl. I was happy too. I didn't care. As long as my baby was going to be healthy, I was good. I was good. She was good. We were good. So I remember going into this prayer mode, like, okay, Mama Bear, I don't know what's going on. Why y'all trying to mess with my little cub inside of me, but we ain't having it. So I went into prayer mode automatically. Like, I don't know what they see. I don't know what they think they see, but it's not what it looked like. And yes, I was taking a nap one day. It had been about 5 business days since I had taken this test. And I got a call around 10 o'clock in the morning after I sent my children to school. And I was laying back down for a nap in this prayer room. I called it my prayer room, but in my grandma's house, it's the white room where nobody's supposed to go. You don't sit on her white couches. You don't do none of that. Okay, I was in there taking a nap on her white couches where I wasn't supposed to be. But I felt a sense of peace in that area at that time. So I get a call from a Michigan number. I live in South Carolina, so I'm like, I don't know if I should answer 'cause I don't know what they want. If it's a bill collector, I ain't got nothing for you. So, yeah, I answered it, and it's a lady. I don't remember her name, so I'm just gonna use Emma. I don't know. It's like, hi, is this Tanasia Thomas? I'm like, yes, this is her. It's like, hey, this is Emma, and I'm calling from the some kind of organization from your doctor's office had us call, and we have your testing in from the test that you took, and the test I took was called the Maternity 21 testing, and I would recommend that test for anyone that is pregnant. That test is really invasive. It's an invasive test. They just draw the blood from your arm, and it will tell you any type of chromosomal abnormalities that's going on with your baby. They can even test for like hereditary cancer screenings. They do all of that. They test you for the trisomies. They test for abnormalities with your baby's sex chromosomes, like the X and Y chromosomes. They do all of that. I mean, it even tell you if you're having a girl or a boy as early as like what 12 weeks or something like that. I don't know, but that I would highly recommend that test. So okay, it's like, okay, your test came back and we we chose to do this test on you because it's the most accurate. You've already had, something come up with one of your children with his kidney that was unforeseen, which should have been, addressed during your pregnancy. So we didn't want anything to slip by. I'm sorry, motorcycles is riding past. But it's like we don't want anything to slip past. Okay, so your test results came back and you're testing in the 90 something percentile, like that your baby will be born with Down syndrome and that your baby is a baby girl. I don't know if they told you, I don't know if they wanted you to know that, but you're having a little girl and more than likely she have Down syndrome. So I was like, what? They was like, yes, the correct term for it is trisomy 21 because there's so many different trisomies. And yeah, like, you have any questions? At the time I felt like somebody slapped me in my face, like, while I'm okay, this is what I felt like. I'm sitting in church and somebody walked past, and you know how the pastor slap you on the forehead? Okay, imagine the pastor do that but with a bag of bricks. Just slap you in your face and you pass out on the floor and you just there like, what the devil just happened? Did you just hit me with some bricks? Like, I were you supposed to just tap me on my head and make me whole, make me okay? No, honey. This lady hit me in my face with some bricks. That's what she did on the phone. She hit me in my head with some darn bricks and knocked me out. So I was like, I couldn't cry. I didn't feel sad or anything at the time. I was just stunned, like, what? Girl, bye. You saying that, but that ain't what it is. So I remember hanging out with her. She was like, you have any questions? She was like, I'll come down to South Carolina and I'll meet you at your doctor's appointment. If I can't get there, I will Skype you. Like, once you make it to your next appointment, just jot down any questions you have. We'll answer them. That's what we're here for. You can call my number back. I'm here anytime. If you need counseling, we can set that up for you. Genetic screening for you and your partner to see, what's going on, where this may have come from. Was it something that just happened by chance? Are you guys at risk for having more children with any kind of abnormality? We can set that up for you. So I'm like, okay. So I hang up with her and I call my partner and I call my sister and I tell them, like, yo, the lady just called, my test came back and like it's looking like it is what it is. And I remember my sister crying and it just broke me down. She was not crying because she was sad. She was not crying because she was like, ew, what? A child with Down syndrome? No, it wasn't that. It was like she genuinely knew. And mind you, we were pregnant at the same time, like a month apart. So all these emotions were going through her because at the same time, while she's feeling sad for me, she's going to the doctor and she's getting so much good news with her son that, everything is fine. He's growing on point. Everything is good. Nothing's looking abnormal for him. And she was just like, you know what, Tanae, the only thing this diagnosis means is that she require more love, affection, and attention. And that's exactly what she's going to get. Like, don't let this feel like the end of the world to you. Don't let this feel like you're being punished for something. Like, she just really made me feel like okay, I have somebody that understand, you know, what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. And when I called my partner, my boyfriend, and told him what had happened, what the doctor said or whatever, he was like, and oh yeah, one thing I left out in the conversation was that the lady told me on the phone, Miss Emma or whatever her name was, she was like, also, you're only, what, 19 weeks now? She was like, it's not too late to terminate your pregnancy. For this medical reason, you know, you have up to about 24, 26, however many weeks she said it was. I can't remember because it wasn't even thought in my head. Like, I'm not terminating my pregnancy. Are you crazy? No, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, so I told him, I was like, babe, like the test came back. They said that the baby is definitely a girl, but she has Down syndrome. And they also believe that she's going to be born with a congenital heart defect. Like something's going on with her heart, which is why they keep seeing these shadows and holes in her heart, the white spots and all this stuff. And they told me it's not too late to terminate the pregnancy if we wanted to and all this other stuff. And he was like, absolutely not. Like, we're not terminating no pregnancy. What's wrong with them people? It's like, it's okay. Like, whatever is going on, it'll work itself out. Don't worry about it. Don't get yourself stressed out about it. He was just like, and they tell people that all the time. Like, just because they say that don't mean that that's what's going to be. Like, he was like, they told my sister that about her baby, that her baby would have Down syndrome. And her baby didn't even have Down syndrome. They told my brother that about his girlfriend's baby, that their baby was going to be born with Down syndrome, but she don't have Down syndrome and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, you know what? You're right. They did say that, and it wasn't what they said it was. So this whole time I'm being hopeful, but I don't know if y'all ever had a sick child or anything like that, but it's like your body knows when something is not right. It's like some sort of grief that just runs through your body. Like sort of like a woman having intuition, like when you know your man is cheating, you don't want to believe it, but you know it. It was like that. It's like I didn't want to believe it, but my body was preparing me like, girl, it is what it is. Like, your baby's gonna have Down syndrome. So I just remember crying like rivers of water. If, you know, I could have collected them, I probably could have collected my tears. I probably could have made a little small swimming pool for my kids to swim in. I don't know. But I remember crying for about 2 weeks straight, every day. And I remember not wanting to talk about it to many people because I felt like everybody kept telling me the same thing, like, oh, they say that all the time. That don't mean that's what it's gonna be. She's not gonna have Down syndrome. Everybody kept telling me that. And in my head I was like, are y'all crazy? Like, she's gonna have that. Why does nobody understand? And why am I the only one that's accepting this? No one else is accepting it but me and my sister. Like, that's it. And I remember being in the bathroom one day and just breaking down, crying, busting out crying. My dad didn't know what was going on. He came in the bathroom. He's like, what's wrong with you, boo boo? And my daughter had just left out the bathroom and she came back in. She was like, why are you crying? What's wrong? My dad thought I just needed space, so he just walked out the bathroom, went back to his room. And my daughter was like, what is wrong, Ma? Please talk to me. She was 8 at the time, I believe. Going on 9. She was about to be 9 because she'll be 11 now. And I just told her, I was like, well, babe, the doctor called me and told me that the baby is going to have Down syndrome and she has something going on with her heart. She's going to have heart surgery once she's born. And I told her, I was like, and my heart is broken. Like, I'm sad for my baby. And she was like, it's going to be okay, mommy. And I remember her crying a little bit and giving me a hug. And then she went out of the bathroom and she told my dad. He was like, what's wrong with her? And she was like, mommy said something about something wrong with the baby. And the doctor said something about the baby heart and stuff. And he came in the bathroom and he was like, boo boo, what's wrong? Like, tell me what they told you. What did they say? And I'm telling him, like, Dad, they said my baby's going to have Down syndrome and she has some kind of heart defect. And he just cried. He got so emotional. Like, he just he walked out the house, he slammed the door, he left like flying down the road, and I was just like, oh my God. And then he called me like 40 seconds after he pulled off, and he was like, "Ooh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left," but he was like, "It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be here for you. Whatever you need, I got you." And I remember my sister coming in the bathroom. She's like, "It's gonna be okay. Like, don't cry, don't cry. It's gonna be okay. Like, I don't know what to tell you because I don't have children. I don't know the feeling, but I'm here for you. Like, we're here for you." And I was telling her, like, and she's like, "What did Terrence say?" And I told her, I was like, "He said, it's not what they think it is. It's not like that. If it is, it's still gonna be okay." And I remember telling my sister, my little sister, like, "I don't think he understands. Like, nobody understands. I just 6 years ago had a baby that was born with kidney disease. He went under the knife 6 times. My son had 6 surgeries. I don't want to see another one of my babies on a hospital table. I don't want to be another hospital mom again." Okay, because I lived at the hospital with my son. And I was like, I don't want to go through it. I just don't. I can't. My heart can't take it. Like, I was so sad when my son was going through, when he was sick, when he was barely making it. I mean, I was crushed. Nobody knew how I felt. Nobody around me knew the pain. Like, I'm really good at hiding how I feel, and I was crushed. My world was crushed. I felt horrible. I felt terrible that my son was going through this. And there was nothing I could do about it. There was nothing I could do. The only thing I could do was whatever the doctors told me to do to just keep him healthy. That's all I could do. And I was like, I can't go through this again. I just can't. And this time it's the heart. This is a major organ as well. I was like, I don't know. And my sister was just like, yeah, you're right. He may not understand how big of a deal this is going to be, how much work it's going to be, but you're not in it by yourself, and he's not either. Like, we all got your back. We here for you. We gonna help you, whatever you need, whatever she need, we got it. So I was like, okay, good. Everybody's on board with me, which that's not what I was looking for, but it was great to know that at the time. It helped me so much. For my sister, my sisters, my cousin, my dad, my boyfriend, everybody was just there for me. And it meant so much to me. I said I wasn't going to cry doing this video, but all right, so let's fast forward to when I went to labor. I had been warned previously that whenever it was time for me to have the baby, to make sure I was near my hospital, because I had my team of cardiologists that would be there to check out as soon as she was born. And I did that. I made sure I got there in time, barely enough time. When I say barely enough, I mean I got to the hospital and 15 minutes later she was born. Because my hospital was an hour away from my house, and at the time I was almost 2 hours away from my house. So by the time I got home, got my things, got to the hospital, it's time to push. So we got her out pretty quickly. She was born at 36 weeks and 6 days. And she weighed 5 pounds, 11 ounces. And everything looked good. I mean, she was born, she was healthy, she was breathing, she was crying, she was eating. And I remember they took her into the nursery, and I was like, oh, it's taking forever for them to just bring my baby back. Like, I got a picture of her before she went back, but I want to see my baby. I want to know how she's doing. Can some of the doctor come talk to me? Like, when I say it took forever, I mean, it took forever. Like, I had her before afternoon even came. It was like almost 12 o'clock when she was born. I did not get to see her until like 7 o'clock that evening, 6 o'clock that evening or something. This time, her dad had already made it there because he missed the whole labor, delivery, all that, because he was at work, and it took him about 3-4 hours to get from where he was working to where I was at the time. They moved him from Maine to Virginia, North Carolina, borderline somewhere. So he had to make it from there all the way to South Carolina. And He got there. He was like, "Where my baby? What's going on?" Like, he waited a couple hours. He was really patient. Then he was like, "No, I'm going to look for my baby. I'm going to find her." So we went walking. I got up. I said, "Let's go find her." We walked to the nursery, and there she was laying. I'm talking about they had my baby naked, not a diaper, nothing, legs wide open. She was just laying there, and I was like, "Well, what's going on? Can somebody let me in? What's going on with my baby? Somebody tell me something." Dad was like, "That's my baby. I don't know what y'all talking about. What's going on?" So they was like, "Yeah, we were just doing her testing and everything, the newborn scans and stuff, and everything's looking okay. We don't have a official diagnosis, but it's looking like, yeah, like she has Down syndrome. She has some of the characteristics of a baby with Down syndrome." And we were just like, "Can we see her? Like, is she eating?" They was like, "No, we didn't try to feed her yet. You guys can do that." I'm like, "Well, y'all ain't feed my baby yet?" So I'm worried about, give me my baby, bring her back to her mama and her daddy, and we gonna do this in the room, okay? Y'all done checked out. Let me hold my baby now. Stop playing. Stop playing. All right, so we brought her back to the room. She fed nicely. She had no problems. Like, I didn't breastfeed. She had no problems taking the bottle. Her temperature was like, she couldn't hold her own body temperature. She couldn't keep it regulated. So we had to do skin to scan, which Dad was a proud dad. I wish I had pictures of it. I don't know where the pictures are. I'll find some pictures of it. But he did all the skin to scan and stuff and got her where she needed to be. And yeah, so they told her we stayed in the hospital just the regular one. No, I think we stayed one extra day. Yeah, we had to wait for her cardiologist to come check out before we could take her home. And everything was good. The cardiologist was like, "Okay, she has 2 holes present in her heart. We still see that. We're just gonna follow her closely. We'll see her every 2 weeks, for now, and just to monitor it." So those appointments went really great. By the time we went for her first 2-week appointment with him, he still saw the holes present. And by that time we had got our official diagnosis back. So yes, they diagnosed her with trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome. And said it was something that just happened by chance. They referred us to a group called Greenwood Genetics, which is basically a Down syndrome clinic in South Carolina. And we followed up with them, which they wanted to see her annually just to make sure that she's getting the right types of screening. She's growing as she should. She's getting the right type of therapies and stuff. And I just remember feeling like, wow, this really happened to me. Like, I thought that only older couples get this. This is why I wanted to have children before I turned 30 and have everything finished up, because I didn't want to go through this. But it was just so necessary. I find it now that it was necessary. Like, now I don't even know what I cried for, what the sadness was about, because honestly, my daughter completes our family. She just fits right in, like that missing puzzle piece that you don't know is missing. Like, you looking like something is missing, something ain't right. She fit right in. Like, her personality is go right along with her sisters and brothers. She's crazy. She don't take no mess from nobody. She's boss baby. She's greedy. Everything, like her siblings, that's just her. She just has Down syndrome. And I really learned there's nothing down about Down syndrome. Like, I use that hashtag all the time, nothing down about it, or the upside down, because I don't see it. I just don't. Besides the fact that, okay, yeah, she did have to undergo heart surgery with to close the holes up in her heart, and I'll do another detailed video about that, because that was something really big in our life. I mean, it was huge. We almost lost our baby. Like, I'll save it for another video. Come and get emotional again. But she did have to have heart surgery. Other than that, like, she's been a plus to us. Like, hey, boo boo, you walk out? Come on. Let me hold you. to our family. She's our baby girl. She is boss baby. And yeah, I just wanted to come and do this video because I kept saying I was going to do it. I kept saying I was going to do it, and I never did it. So we got it out the way. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop down in the comment section. Feel free to inbox me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I don't care. I'm always open to answer people's questions. I'm not an expert or anything, but I just feel like I've been through a lot with my children. And if I don't know the answers, I'll find out for you. I can point you in the right direction. If you have any questions about the type of testing that I took, look them up. They answer questions right away. Like, I reach out to them on Facebook, and their name on Facebook is Maternity. And if you Google them, you'll find out more about them as well. They have numbers, you can contact them and stuff like that. But yes, just don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're going through this, if you're pregnant and they are suspecting that there's something going on with your baby, don't be afraid to get clarification, to just find out what's going on with your baby. Don't be afraid of a diagnosis that you may not have been expecting. Don't be afraid of it. Every test that comes up, every hurdle that comes before you, trust me, you can take it. You can jump over it. It's something you have to go through, and don't be afraid to go through things in life, because trust me, they make you stronger. You may not realize it at the time, but some things that we go through are necessary. And that's it. And y'all know I'm always so positive and encouraging. So I just wanted to encourage you guys today to make sure that you're loving people that aren't like you. Somebody different. If you see someone out that may need a little extra help, help that person. Hey, say hi. If y'all want to say hi to Bubbles, give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Say hi. You don't want to say it? Say hello. Look at that smile. Say hello. Say hello. Yes, y'all gotta like this smile. Just give it a thumbs up for the smile. I love you. I love you. Say bye-bye. Say I'll see y'all later. Say don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, and give us more video ideas, whatever else we can tell you guys, show you guys. Keep our channel well-rounded. She looking at me like, Mom, what the devil you talking about? So I'm gonna quit rambling. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.